The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers, who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
Baby.
Walk out on that field today. Ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! Let's go to the house! Let's go to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? It's hot now. It's hot now. Let's go. It's hot. We ready? Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. He can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. I'm proud of you step on the field, man. That's who I did. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready? Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
Oh, no, this game is just getting started. A little late, but we're here right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Of course, it is Election Day, and for those who did not vote early, today is your last day to vote for this election. What's going on, Big George? How you doing? What's up, B. George? B. George, part of that 2020 XFFL Championship. Texas Phoenix Fire tuning into the lunch break. What's up? I saw Sydney flexing and queening because it was her birthday, but she had a ring on. She had her championship ring on. So I'm trying to be down with it. I want to be the voice of, so I can get me a ring this year, whenever the season starts. But anyway, it's election day. Last day to cast your vote. You got to do it by 7 o'clock p.m. today. If you get in line before 7 o'clock, they cannot put you out of line. Do not let them do that. If they give you a problem at the polls, you make sure you don't walk away without voting. Make sure you at least get a provisional ballot. Don't let them steal your right. Notice I said right to vote. And let's get it done. All right? Today is that day. Hey, Sydney Brown, I was just talking about you, Queen. Happy birthday, Sydney. You know I got something for you. I'll get that after the break. I got something for one of the owners of the 2020 XFFL champions, talking about the Texas Phoenix Fire. They got their rings and, looking good. I'm telling you, I like it. So anyway, let me get a commercial to start us off, and then I'll be back with something for Sydney Brown, and we'll talk about what we're going to talk about sports-related right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher is standing with us for affordable health care, for public education, for making sure every vote is counted. It's why Mayor Turner and President Obama support Lizzie Fletcher for Congress. Wesley Hunt stands with Donald Trump. Wesley Hunt wants to repeal Obamacare and deny insurance to people with pre-existing conditions. Vote Lizzie Fletcher for Congress.
I'm Lizzie Fletcher, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Elizabeth Panel Fletcher for Congress.
One day. This is Earl G. Robinson. When people say my vote doesn't matter, when you don't vote, your vote counts against you. the other side gets a vote. If you want to fix our broken criminal justice system and reform your local police department to make it more accountable, you need to vote. If you want to increase economic prosperity in the black community, you need to vote. If you want to protect the right to vote, you need to vote. If you want more funding for our schools, you need to vote. Voting does matter. If Black Lives Matter to you, you need to vote. Early voting begins on October 13th
what's going on,
and
brother?
ends on October 30th. Election day is November 3rd. You need to vote. We all need to vote. If you don't vote, it will matter.
Paid for by the Communications Workers of America, District 6, Claude Cummings Jr., Vice President.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people that have been injured or wronged. Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market.
Hey, Monique,
If you've
just
been
letting you know, we praying
diagnosed
for
with
you and your
cancer
family
and you've
still,
taken
yeah.
Zantac
Still
or
got
a
y'all in
generic
prayer, okay?
equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive
What's
a
up,
free
John? Much
cash
love,
award
brother.
and have your medical
Hey,
expenses
Lina
covered.
Newman James,
And there's no
what's up?
upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
Hi, this is TJ from South Park. I listen to the lunch break with AJ Jones on 1140 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, y'all, we back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Got a shout-out to one of my classmates from Forest Park, FP in the house. John Lindeman said he just came out of retirement, teaching again. Glad to hear that. Dude is amazing in every way. In fact, man, I still remember all of your siblings. Let me do it. Randy, Ron, Jeannie, John, Judy, Joe. I got them. I got Randy, Ron, Jeannie, John, Judy, Joe. And not only do I have all of them, but I got them all in order. How about that? Never have forgotten that. Never have forgotten that. That's a good dude, man. Thanks for that prayer today. And also one of the best women in the world from Lina, are you from Cincinnati or are you from Columbus? I think you're from Cincinnati. But Lina Newman James, her and her husband, and son and dogs, right? I think I got everybody. And then, of course, Lady CJ. Lina says, hey, love your shirt. That's right. Vote like we've never voted before. John Lewis, the late, great, said that. So, I mean it. I mean it. You got to do it. Today is the day. Got to do it by 7 p.m. our time, Central. 7 p.m. our time, Central. Vote, and then let's see what happens, all right? Vote, and then let's see what happens. But you got to vote first. All right, so let me get this on for Sydney Brown, who's queening today and flexing because it's her birthday, and she's sporting her new 2020 XFFL championship ring. Sydney, this is my friend. He's doing it for you.
Oh, go shawty, it's your birthday. Ooh, it's your birthday. Go shawty, it's your birthday. Today's your day. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Usher. I appreciate you singing to my friend Sydney Brown. She is a queen. It's her birthday. We had to give her some love. Everybody else celebrating their birthday on November the 3rd. Happy birthday to you. Go shawty, it's your birthday. Ooh, shawty, it's your birthday. All right, now, got that out of the way, and that is, again, want to celebrate everybody out there. Not only is it election day, but it's the NFL trade deadline day. It's the NFL trade deadline today. I want to say 3 o'clock Central. 3 o'clock Central, teams have that long to make a move. And, of course, there was a fake insider from the mothership site. Didn't have the check, but had like some type of white, well, mine is on dark mode. So some type of looked like a check mark, wasn't a check mark. And they were talking about the Green Bay Packers finalizing a deal for J.J. Watt and Will Fuller. And everybody in Houston that is sort of kind of a Texan fan went nuts. First of all, what y'all going nuts for? What is the problem? Help me understand what's the problem. L-Dub, what's going on? Good brother. Larry Williams, good brother. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for dropping in. I know you've already gotten out and voted, you and your sons, the wife. Thank God for you, man. Y'all be safe out there. What is wrong if the Texans decide to package up J.J. Watt and trade him for some assets that they desperately need? Why is that the end-all, be-all, like the world is going to come to an end? J.J. Watt has been a member of this team since 2011. I know he is Mr. Houston right now. I know. But if J.J. Watt can help this organization by being, I don't want to call it trade bait, because trade bait is not right, the right terminology, phraseology. But if he can help this team by bringing necessary assets that the former head coach and general manager traded away and gave away for little of nothing. If y'all haven't figured out now that the guy that we had in here at general manager and head coach destroyed the foundation, the thing that this team was standing on. Like, they can't rebuild without either going way over the salary cap or trying to acquire assets. He gave away a bunch of number ones. He gave away a bunch of number twos. He gave away future draft picks. He gave away current draft picks. The dude left us with nothing. I'm serious. And now this team has got to be creative to try to figure out how to rebuild it. I'm trying to figure out why y'all are going nuts, because J.J. Watt's name was in a fake trade rumor. So that's my question of the day. Would you be okay with the Texans trading J.J. Watt for either a younger, maybe not as good as J.J. in his prime player, or for future draft picks? Now, they might not get a first for J.J. anymore. Might not. Can ask for it. But remember, if you can let DeAndre Hopkins go for what they got for him, then maybe you can let J.J. go for a couple of picks as opposed to a first and a fifth or first and a fourth, something like that. I want to hear from you. 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000, or text me 832-403-5005. 832-403-5005. I want to hear, number one, would you be open to trading J.J. Watt? If not, why? Like, why not? Like, why? I know he's the face of Houston. I know he and his wife are Mr. and Mrs. Houston. I know that they are. But I want to hear your thoughts. And again, I'm not going to argue with you, and don't argue with me. Let's just share, can we reason together? Would you be willing to trade J.J. Watt? Would you be willing to trade Will Fuller? I know y'all ready to let him go because he hasn't been healthy much, although he's having a pretty good year this year. So that's the question right now. Team Texas Tuesday. All right, let me get my first call, and then we'll take a break. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
It's Keith Hennick.
What's up, Keith Hennick, caller of the year 2020. What's up, man?
Oh, got a few things. First, I'll address J.J. Watt. Been in Houston for 9 years, done a wonderful job, fine young man. Time to go. Gotta get young.
I mean, they always talk about it's a business, so it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal.
Business, and J.J. has been great for Houston, Texas. However, it's time for the Texans to rebuild young.
Can I just say this, Keith? Can I just say this?
Please.
When they trade a guy away, they don't lock the doors to the city or the state afterwards.
True. That is true. I want to back up to my point real quick, AJ, before you get this party started.
All right.
If you are willing to move to Bristol, Connecticut, I am willing to start a petition for you to replace Steve Levy in the Monday Night Football booth.
Man, and Keith, I got to tell you, I really do try not to attack the work of colleagues. I don't like him on the Monday night call. It's like
Well, who does?
I call him Little Greasy, Brian Greasy, Bob Greasy's son. He's all right.
He's okay.
But
He's okay.
But my other guy is great, and they both get pulled down by Steve Levy. Like that job is too big for Steve Levy. It really is.
It's not too big for Andre Jones.
Man, I tell you, I appreciate you saying that, Keith, but I am on record. There is nothing and no amount of money that would make me leave this job to go work for the mothership. Now, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, NBC Sports, that might be a little different, but the mothership, nah, I wouldn't do it. I really wouldn't.
Well, after I heard him call my Buccaneers the Patriots 3 times during the course of the game, I thought, this guy has to go.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know where he is, and he doesn't know who's playing. And I've got a guy in mind that could replace him next Monday night.
Man, you are too kind, Keith. You are too kind.
I doesn't want it.
You are too kind.
Well, that's all I got. I'll save my petition till you change your mind. And,
my hope is, here's my hope, and I know it won't happen because, they love having it. Another network will eventually pick up Monday Night Football. That's my hope.
Oh, I hope that's true.
I would love for NBC, because they do a great job on Sunday Night Football.
Sure they do.
I would love for them to take Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football, because then we can get out of that pool of quote unquote talent that they have over at the mothership. They got some really good folks over there, but they typically are not the ones that are making, are on those kind of calls. Like I say, the former general manager, I forget his name, but the former general manager that's on, he's great. He's phenomenal. And Brian Greasy's all right, but Steve Levy, man, he kills it. I literally turn my sound down and watch the game.
Well, they don't have enough talent to put in a thimble at ESPN, and you could start the trend, AJ.
Well, man, bro, I appreciate you, man. I really do. I appreciate you saying that.
Please change your mind and let me know. I'll start the petition. Have a great show.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Keith Hennick, Call of the Year 2020. I just appreciate that. That's good stuff right there. All right, let me take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Two radio stations in one.
You're home. You're a diabetic. You need supplies, but you don't want to visit the pharmacy. What do? Call US Med for home delivery of your supplies. If you have diabetes and you're worried about going to a crowded pharmacy, pick up the phone in the safety and comfort of your home and let US Med deliver them to you with free shipping. And now if you test your blood sugar 4 more times a day and inject insulin 3 or more times a day, you may qualify to get a new continuous glucose monitor at little or no cost, which may eliminate the pain of pricking your fingers and helps you make smarter diabetes decisions. Plus, we'll send you a 90-day supply and bill your insurance company for you. Get some peace of mind. Call US Med today.
800-417-0851. 800-417-0851. That's 800-417-0851.
Let's be.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me
Louis
Show
Riddick, thank you,
right
brother.
here
on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
All right, it's election time, which means political ads are everywhere. But there's a reason for that. This is important. We have a president who is a straight-up racist, who uses racist language and attacks to divide Americans against each other. We don't just need a new president, we need leaders who aren't afraid to stand up to Trump. But our senator, Republican John Cornyn, he votes with Donald Trump more than 95% of the time. So what do we do about it? We vote for Democrat MJ Hagar. MJ is a combat veteran and is a working mom who knows healthcare costs are out of control. She'll fight for affordable healthcare, cheaper prescription drug prices, and protect people with pre-existing conditions. And she's endorsed by President Obama. But most importantly, she's got the courage to stand up to Donald Trump. So vote. Vote Democrat. All the way down the ballot. And vote for Democrat MJ Hagar for U.S. Senate.
I'm MJ Hagar, candidate for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by MJ for Texas.
Hi, this is Sonia from Southeast Houston, and you're listening to The Lunch Break on 92.3 and KYOK.
All right, y'all. Back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Team Texas Tuesday, and Willie Gibson, Louis Riddick is the guy. Thank you for Willie for letting me know. Louis Riddick is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Love him. But, I mean, it's one of those things where his energy and Brian Greasy, or Little Greasy is what I call him, their energy is comparable. Levy, I'm really trying not to be critical of his work because I'm telling you, I have bad days, man. I had a horrible day yesterday on the show, just with the way I was feeling and the way the show went. We all have bad days. But one of the things that they talk about in this business, and I know I've been working in this business longer than Steve Levy. One of the things that they told me back in 1982 is whatever you do, be natural. Be natural. Don't use a radio voice. Hey, this is AJ Jones on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. You don't talk like that naturally, normally. And that's what Steve Levy does. It's like somebody in that building or those buildings should let Levy know, dude, just be yourself. Talk like you're really talking to your best friend for real, and the whole world is listening in. I mean, that's the advice that I would give him because it's like very plastic. It's like very superficial. It's like very pretending. It's not, and it's like, stop it. Like, bruh, for real, quit playing. You know, you ever have a friend, come on, guys, you ever have that when you and your guys are together, you and your boys are together, and you got that one friend that plays too much? Like, you know, y'all have a good laugh going, and then he'll try and come in and say something extra to the laugh, and it kills everything. That's what he feels like for me. Just for me. Now, you might love him, and if his mama and his daddy or cousins are listening, I'm sorry. I don't mean nothing personal. He can't come knock on the door at the house unannounced. He can't do that. Who is it? Hey, it's Steve Levy. For what? Heard you were having a party? No. I hear people. Get off my yard. Get away from my door. Hey, I'm Steve Levy from Monday Night Football. I'm calling the police. Like, y'all don't understand, man. At this stage of my life, fake ain't it. Like, fake ain't fake nothing. I don't want fake anything. Like, if it's real pleather, I'll take it over fake leather. What is that, pleather? Okay, all right, I think I'll wear some pleather. But if you tell me it's leather and I find out it's not, then it's fake. Just tell me what it is. So I don't know, man. Keith, you got me going on that. I'm cutting up because you got me going on that. Willie Gibson's like, this dude here. Oh my gosh. No, here's what Willie is saying right now. Wow. Wow. I'm trying to make sure I never even get an offer from the mothership. Like, I don't even want them to offer me so I can turn them down. I don't even want that. It's like, all right, let's scratch him off the list. I wish Steve Levy would join the National Association of Black Journalists, so I could see him at an upcoming conference, and I can pull him aside and say, "Look, bro, I don't mean no harm. I don't mean no disrespect. Like, I don't like you, but let me help you." You know, that's what I would do. I would pull him aside and I'd say, listen, man. Like, I don't know how you got in here, and I'm glad you're here because I've been meaning to tell you, stop being fake. Just what's your real voice sound like? Like, sing happy birthday. You know, your natural voice is when you sing happy birthday, unless you can really sing like Usher. But that's your natural voice. What do you sound like when you're singing happy birthday? Not when you're trying to be on the radio or the TV or you're, man, I tell you, that was a very great play by Tom Brady. That's not how you sound for real. So anyway, let me get off of this. Great game last night. Who thought it was pass interference? on the 2-point conversion? Why can't the NFL officials get pass interference right? Like, if you hit the guy before he catches the ball and it's like on a important play, and I don't care if it's the last play of the game, it's still pass interference. It's okay to call it and leave the flag down. I mean, some calls are just judgment calls. Some calls are just, maybe you got it wrong, but it's a judgment call. Don't get it wrong where you don't give them the penalty. I almost feel like you want to err on the side of caution. Like, that looked like pass interference, so I'm going to throw it. I'm going to throw the flag on that one. And leave it down there. When y'all get in that referee's huddle and they start trying to pressure you, like, come on, man, pick that up so we can go home. Come on, man, I gotta get home, man. My wife say tonight is the night. She's making meatloaf. You'd say, hold on, man, we got one more play because that was pass interference. Like, that meatloaf will be a little cold, but you're gonna get to it. Keith Hennig said, I hate to say it, but the refs choked that call. They did. And I'm not going to go back to the New Orleans call against the Rams, but it was similar to the New Orleans call against the Rams, but it was just a little bit less obvious as that one. I mean, that one was so bad that if I was a referee, a part of that crew against the New Orleans Saints, I would just say, I don't want to ref no more. We got that so bad. I'd be sitting in a lazy boy in a semi-dark room with a bunch of cans and newspapers and half-eaten pizzas and, watching reruns of the same play. Like, God, I can't believe I missed that. Like, dang, how did I miss that? Like, I mean, I wouldn't bathe. I'd be unshaven, unkept. Just like, oh man, I can't believe I missed that. Like, there's no way that crew referees again, right? They're not refereeing now. Do we know their names? Last night wasn't that egregious, but it was still too close to allow it to go on. Like, and it's such a critical play. So you'd rather go home knowing that you blew a critical play like that. And all it would have accomplished, you move the ball to the 1-yard line instead of the 2. It's not like you give them the 2-point conversion. You got to have one more play. And if they get it, great. If they don't, well, okay, at least you got it right. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've seen the report. The report said that for it to be obvious pass interference, the defender must make contact with the receiver prior to the ball's arrival. The crew felt like it was a simultaneous occurrence. I disagree. And the replay showed that it did not. He got there just a half step early. I mean, most baseball umpires can pick that up because, when there's a bang bang play at first base or second base, they got to look down at the foot and hear the ball hit at the same time, and they know, okay, I heard the sound after the foot, safe. I heard the sound before the foot, out. Football, for some reason, they can't seem to connect with the contact and then the ball. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. So, I got no love for the Giants, but they should have had one more play. All right, let me get to a quick commercial. We'll be right back right after this on the lunch break.
is standing with us for affordable health care, for public education, for making sure every vote is counted. It's why Mayor Turner and President Obama support Lizzie Fletcher for Congress. Wesley Hunt stands with Donald Trump. Wesley Hunt wants to repeal Obamacare and deny insurance to people with pre-existing conditions. Vote Lizzie Fletcher for Congress.
I'm Lizzie Fletcher, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Elizabeth Panel Fletcher for Congress.
This is Barack Obama, and I want to talk with you about the choice you have for your next U.S. Senator. I hope you'll vote for MJ Hager. MJ served 3 tours in Afghanistan as a combat search and rescue pilot, receiving a Purple Heart and Distinguished Flying Cross with valor. She's also a working mom who knows the struggles families face to afford health care, which is why she'll fight to protect the Affordable Care Act. Progress we all worked so hard to achieve, and Republicans keep trying to repeal. And MJ is firmly committed to making the reforms we need to address systemic racism and create a more fair and equitable America. And that's why, whether you vote early or on November 3rd, I hope you'll join me in supporting Democrat MJ Hager. We need her in the United States Senate, but she needs your vote to get there.
I'm MJ Hagar, and I approve this message.
Use of military record does not imply endorsement from Department of Defense. Paid for by MJ for Texas.
My name is Gary Bledsoe, president of the Texas NAACP. The upcoming election is one of the most important elections in the history of this nation. Elections have consequences, and after the death of the legendary Ruth Bader Ginsburg, things that have been done by the courts to grant rights to racial, ethnic, religious, and other minorities are seriously at risk. The chances for the survival of Obamacare and affirmative action seem to be remote at best. Do you want an administration and court system that takes the side of bad cops and that works feverishly to make sure your right to vote is compromised? This election is about whether you have your right and first-class citizenship and humanity. The voter suppression efforts now existing in Texas are a clear reminder of years past. They are reducing polling places, drop boxes for absentee ballots, permitting abusive poll watchers to abuse voters, and a host of other activities. Vote in honor of your ancestors, and please report any irregularities to the NAACP.
Paid for by the Communications Workers of America, District 6, Claude Cummings Jr., Vice President.
You're listening to
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
Now, back to the lunch break.
All right, y'all, we're back at it here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, and let me get to some of these text messages about J.J. Watt. AJ, excuse me, you know what it is, allergies. AJ, why would you trade away the guy who's arguably still the best player on the team and definitely the best player on defense? Clearly, you don't know football. Yeah. JJ being the best player on defense doesn't say much. But again, remember who put that defense together and the team as a whole. The same guy that told us that Brian Hoyer and Ryan Mallett he could win with. The same guy who, when the owner said, go out and get me a young quarterback, he and you know, he blames Rick Smith, said Rick Smith that he didn't go do it, but they went out and got Brock Osweiler and said that they could win with him. The same guy that said that Tom Savage gave them the best chance to win after seeing Deshaun Watson in training camp and preseason, and then 1 half later put Deshaun Watson in. This is the guy that put together that defense and that offense and that team. So to say this J.J. Watt, not the old 3-time Defensive Player of the Year J.J. Watt, I'm talking about this J.J. Watt being the best player on the team. 1, that's not true. It's Deshaun Watson. And 2, to say he's the best player on defense, ain't saying much. And I'm not knocking the Texans. I'm just saying, you know, I'm not even going to pick on you saying I don't know much about football. I'm just saying that statement doesn't say much. It doesn't say much. It even may be true. It just doesn't say much. It's like being the best player on your T-ball team. Doesn't mean you're the best player in Major League Baseball. So, which goes back to my point, if you've got a guy that's the best player on a bad team and you can trade him away and pick up 2, possibly even 3 assets save a little money on a team that's got the highest payroll in the NFL and one of the worst records. You do it. That's the money end of football. You know, that's not the X's and O's. That's the money end of it. That's the business end of it. And I promise you, I know business. So, you know, thank you for the text. Let's see, this person, ABF says, AJ, I don't have any problem with trading JJ. I've heard you say before, this team holds on to players too long. They do. Oh gosh, they do. And it's not just the Texans. The city of Houston holds on to the what was his name? Brian Cushing's and you know, Craig Biggio, and I don't think they held on to him too long, but they hold on to their stars/legends too long. I mean, they didn't do that with Hakeem Olajuwon. You know, they let him go. Did they trade him or did they let him go to Toronto? I forget which one it was. But, I mean, the dude had 2 chips. So you can do it with Olajuwon, but you can't do it with JJ? I don't know. I'll even throw this out. Are the Rockets holding on to James Harden too long? Let me throw that out there. You know, since I got Texan fans telling me, you know, I don't know anything about football. Are the Rockets holding on to James Harden too long? Do they need to move him for assets and try and rebuild this organization? You know, it's probably not good to bring up Bill Belichick right now because he's a little cranky and crotchety and, you know, trying to trade his guys away. He's trying to trade his best player away, Stephon Gilmore. He says, hey, you got to come with a number one and a player and all of that. At least he's got an open mind. Do the Texas teams hold on to their stars too long, past their prime? I don't see them rebuilding so much. I mean, Cowboy fans, let me come your way. The Cowboys seem like they're in a perpetual rebuild. I mean, they had a bunch of Super Bowls, haven't won one since the 90s, and in my mind, been rebuilding ever since. You know, the 13-3 Dak Prescott rookie year seems like forever ago, and they haven't been anywhere close to that since. They got a bunch of 9-7s in there, got a few 8-8s and less. They got some 6-10s in there. So you mean to tell me that they couldn't move a Michael Irving or a Troy Aikman or for Christ's sake, they held on to Jason Witten forever. I mean, they held on to him forever. You know, it took Tony Romo to get hurt and couldn't play anymore for them to move on from him. At what point do you realize that a guy is worth more to you as, trade material? I don't know. Other teams do it. You know? I mean, let's do this. Give me the weirdest uniform that you saw a former star of one team in after they went to another team. I know a couple of them for me. I know I shouldn't say this name because it elicits all kinds of emotions. But when O.J. Simpson left the Buffalo Bills and went and played for the San Francisco 49ers, it just didn't look right. When Emmitt Smith left the Cowboys and went and played for Arizona, it didn't look right. Jerry Rice in Seattle, that didn't look right. I mean, Jerry Rice with Oakland didn't look bad. I mean, it was right across the bridge from the 49ers, but Jerry Rice in Seattle was like, what? Yeah. A couple of them didn't look right. Pete Rose for the Phillies. That didn't look right. That didn't look right. Hakeem Olajuwon in Toronto. That didn't look right. I mean, you know, Vince Carter for anybody other than Toronto didn't look right. Vince Carter should, in my mind, I know I'm fan and sports talk. I'm not the front office, but Vince Carter should have retired in Toronto for me as a fan. That would have been great. Terrell Owens looked good in a couple of different uniforms, but Terrell Owens, San Francisco, beast, absolute beast. So give me the person that looked weird in another uniform after starring on another team. 281-453-1000.
The big telecom companies have let Texans down. The COVID-19 crisis has shown how much we need reliable, high-speed internet connections. But for years, companies like AT&T, Frontier, and Verizon have been putting wealthy communities at the front of the line when they decide where to build next-generation networks. Joe Biden's plan for rebuilding our economy includes investing in high-speed internet, not just for wealthy suburbs and high-income neighborhoods, but in rural and lower-income areas too. Instead of giving giant tax cuts that go into the pockets of telecom executives, Joe will make those companies pay their fair share and provide the service your family needs to access health care, school, and employment opportunities. Let's close the digital divide and give all Texans equal access to affordable internet service. Vote on November 3rd. Vote for Joe Biden.
Paid for by CWA Working Voices.
Daylight again.
And hold on a second. What do we got going on here? What is happening? All right, stay right there, y'all.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know today, Election Day. Retailers across the country are stepping up security measures to try to head off any damages to their stores during election-related protests in the coming days. Tiffany, Saks Fifth Avenue, CVS, Target, and Macy's are among the chains that are boarding up some of their stores' windows in preparation. A Nevada judge rejected a GOP lawsuit seeking to halt early vote counting in Clark County, which includes Las Vegas, over the stringency of signature matching computer software and how closely observers can watch votes being counted. Joe Biden took all 5 of the votes cast for president in the small town of Dixville Notch, a tiny New Hampshire township along the U.S.-Canada border. That's among the first places in the country to make its presidential preferences known. The ballots were cast just minutes after midnight, becoming some of the first cast and counted on this election day. Please visit SybilWilkes.com to subscribe to my free daily newsletter. Be informed, be empowered.
Hey, what's going on? This is Lecrae, and right now you're listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Team Texas Tuesday, and it is Election Day. If you have not gotten out and voted yet, you still got until 7 o'clock p.m. wherever you are. So, again, get out and vote. If you get in line at 6:59, you are good to go. Don't let them put you out. Don't let them put a sign in front of you saying, well, everybody in front can vote, everybody behind. You make sure you vote. Don't let them turn you away. And then don't let them turn you away for any kind of reason. If you are a registered voter, ask for a provisional ballot if they've got issues with your name or with your address or something. But do not let them turn you away. I want to say the Department of Justice is sending poll watchers to Harris County and some other counties. Waller County, I think they're sending them there. So if you got to report some incidents, do that. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting day. I'm shutting it down as soon as I get out of here, shutting it down, and I'm going lock in, man, and just watch it. Last election, presidential election, 2016, I was up till 2:30 in the morning, still in disbelief. I mean, it was like, wait, what? Wait, what happened? Like, he won that too? Like, he won that too? I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. Some of y'all woke up to it. I was like, I got to lay down. I just got to lay down. So anyway, it's going to be very interesting. But whatever you do, be safe, be careful, and don't get caught up in any foolishness. All right. So Keith Hennig had some good ones. Keith Hennig said Cowboys kept Jason Witten until he was 65. That's hilarious. He also said Joe Namath looked strange in a Rams uniform. I didn't know Joe Namath went to the Rams. I didn't know that. So, yeah, that's interesting. Let's see. Don't leave Michael Jordan out of the conversation. Yeah, Michael Jordan to the Bulls. I mean, from the Bulls to Washington. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. That one right there, that hurt my soul and my spirit, especially because he tried to make Kwame Brown his big man. I mean, you go from Luke Longley and Bill Winnington to Kwame Brown. Not good. Not good. No shade at Kwame, but not everybody should have came right from high school to to the pros. You know? That's one of those, just because you can don't mean you should. So anyway, wow. There was another one I had. Gosh, I can't think. Oh, Eric Dickerson. Did you like Eric Dickerson as a Ram, or did you like Eric Dickerson as a Colt? Which Eric Dickerson did you like? And didn't Marshall Faulk do the same thing, but in reverse? Marshall Faulk was a Colt and then a Ram. Which Marshall Faulk did you like? Edgerrin James. What was his path? I mean, Edgerrin's still playing, ain't he? No, Frank Gore is still playing. Edgerrin James, wasn't he? Edgerrin James, did he stay with the Colts or did he go somewhere else? Frank Gore is a 49er. Frank Gore is a 49er. It's weird to see him in all these different places. That's kind of weird. I guess in a couple of years I'll care more about Phillip Rivers being a Charger. I feel like he held on 1 year too long. I felt like he should have stayed with the Chargers or retired. I mean, his life. Don't get me wrong. His life, but I don't know. I can't get into Phillip Rivers as a Charger. What about Peyton Manning? Peyton Manning as a Colt versus Peyton Manning as a Denver Bronco. Even though that they won the Super Bowl, that Peyton Manning was hard to watch. I mean, they talk about arm strength with Drew Brees and Tom Brady. That Peyton Manning was hard to watch. I'm trying to think of some others. Warren Moon was an Oiler, and did Warren go to Seattle? Where did Warren go? Warren Moon was another one. Let me see. Look that one up. Warren Moon. What's crazy is I type Warren and Warren Buffett, of course, comes up, and then somebody named Warren Miller. Who's that? How come no Warren Moon, man? Let me do it again. That's crazy. Warren Buffett, Warren Jeffs, Warren Beatty, Warren James, and Warren Zevon. That's crazy. No way they can be all more popular than Warren Moon. All right, here's Warren Moon's teams. Let's get them. Of course, Canada. Houston Oilers, Minnesota Vikings, Seattle, and Kansas City. I missed the Kansas City era. All right, let me hit the top of the hour. Is it right on time yet? I'm not going to get in trouble like I did with Todd yesterday. Man, Todd saved the show yesterday. Y'all have no idea how much I was struggling yesterday. And having Todd on the call the whole time, that's why I was not rushing him off. Because, man, he saved the show. Man, thank you, Todd. You still can't be Caller of the Year for 2020, but
The legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
Walk out on that field today. Ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. We ready. We ready. We ready. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. They can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. I'm glad when you step on the field, man. That's who I did. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
That's just first hour on the books, second hour underway right here on the legendary KYOK. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Team Texas Tuesday. It is Election Day 2020. Man, one of the most, I don't even know what to call it. I know everybody's tired of hearing, this is the most, let me sound like Steve Levy. This is the most important election ever. It's so fake. But anyway, it is, though, one of the most interesting elections ever. I have never seen two, I don't know how to put it. You know, I've seen different, diametrically different candidates before, but it's almost like we're talking about two different worlds. I mean, like two different worlds. I don't know, man. I've been doing this thing for a minute, and this one right here. And I find it interesting, the folks who go into the booth and say, oh, yeah, I don't know who I'm voting for until I go in there. And then they come out, it's like, yeah, I didn't know who I was going to vote for until I hit the button, and I still don't know if I feel okay about my pick. Like, really? Like, where's the gray area? I'm not understanding that. Where is the fine line between this one and that one? I get the folks who are pro-life and, you know, want social justice and racial harmony. I get that, you know, that would pull you on opposite ends of the spectrum with this election, but all the other stuff, like, really? I mean, either you, what's that song? You can get with this or you can get with that. Pick something. Choose something. Let's go. And I hope that you choose wisely. I do. Oh, I hope you choose wisely. Man, oh, man, oh, man. So anyway, Team Texas Tuesday, we're talking about, the question of the day was, there was a fake Mothership insider account that talked about a trade with J.J. Watt and Will Fuller to the Green Bay Packers. And hardcore Texas fans got all up in arms, like, you know, it was the end of the world. They were about to take to the streets and just run wild. I'm trying to figure out why. Why is it so unimaginable to think that J.J. Watt could be traded for some assets on a team that has no cap room, no draft picks for, the next year before the third round. They did that last year, didn't have a draft pick before the third round, and look at how that worked out for them. So I don't understand why, like, other than Deshaun Watson, why is J.J. Watt considered untouchable at this stage? We're not talking about J.J. Watt from 5 years ago. This J.J. Watt. Why is he untouchable? So let me hear your thoughts on that. And then the Dallas Cowboys have said that they're not looking to be aggressive. They want to focus on cap and young talent for the rest of this tough 2020. They don't want to go over the salary cap so they can make some moves. And I think if they were to pick right now, they'd have like the number 8 or number 9 pick in the draft. That ain't bad. You're going to get a player that can help. And who knows? What if you trade down? You can pick up a couple of picks and some players that can help. Texans don't have that luxury. I'm not saying there won't be anything left by the third round, but how many years can you do that? Especially when you look at what you gave away. The Texans gave away, watch this, the Texans gave away Jadeveon Clowney. They gave away Dwayne Brown. They gave away, of course, DeAndre Hopkins. But don't forget, they also let Kareem Jackson walk. They didn't even offer Tyrann Mathieu. And they got little to nothing back for those guys. I mean, they should have picks for days for any one of those guys, let alone all of those guys. Let me say it again. Dwayne Brown, Kareem Jackson, Tyrann Mathieu, Jadeveon Clowney, and DeAndre Hopkins. And you don't have a pick before the third round? Dude, you should own the first round. You should have first round picks coming out of your ears like, hold on, I got another first round pick. I'll take Trevor Lawrence. We're going to make him a wide receiver to make up for giving away DeAndre Hopkins. You should have that luxury, but I hate to keep calling this guy's name, but he was that bad that that's what he did to us. I mean, he is the kind of guy that if you are his son and he divorced your mother, you ought to be mad at him for the rest of your life. Every time you see him, man, I can't stand you. Why? You're trading away everybody. And we got nothing to show for it. Now you got Laramie Tunsil, who? The dude that took us for all the money? That makes no sense. For the person that said, I don't know football, make that make sense. Make that make sense. You got rid of all those guys, and you have no first-round picks this year, upcoming year. No way. I know why Cal McNair fired him. He's like, wait a minute. Bill, let me ask you a couple of questions. We got the highest paid salary. We got the most expensive salaries in the NFL. Yes. We got no first round picks next year. No. And we're 0-4. Yeah, you're fired. Wait, what? What are you doing? What are you talking about? You told me this was gonna work. It ain't working. You told me this was what's best for the organization. It's not. You told me these guys were like first round picks. They're not. You're fired. At least he didn't do him like Bill O'Brien apparently was doing people when he was firing them. Bill was sending them all out the building with God bless yous. I'm being facetious. So no, I'm sorry. I am sorry. This is crazy. If you got to trade J.J. Watt, if you got to trade Will Fuller, if you got to trade Kenny Stills, if you got to trade if you got to trade Brandon Cooks, if you got to trade my boy from Green Bay by way of Dow, that's so bad I don't even remember his name. It's horrible. Nobody has made an impact this year to the point where you can even remember their names. Everybody is for trade. If I'm Cal McNair, I'm like, honey, I got good news and bad news. Talking to his wife. I got good news and bad news. What is it, baby? I'm going to be visiting you from Cleveland. Why? We're getting players from Cleveland, and they want you. You're trading me? Yes, I'll visit. We'll take a break. I'll be right back right after this on the lunch break.
Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher is standing with us for affordable health care, for public education, for making sure every vote is counted. It's why Mayor Turner and President Obama support Lizzie Fletcher for Congress. Wesley Hunt stands with Donald Trump. Wesley Hunt wants to repeal Obamacare and deny insurance to people with pre-existing conditions. Vote Lizzie Fletcher for Congress.
I'm Lizzie Fletcher, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Elizabeth Panel Fletcher for Congress.
This is Carol G. Robinson. When people say my vote doesn't matter, when you don't vote, your vote counts against you. The other side gets a vote. If you want to fix our broken criminal justice system and reform your local police department to make it more accountable, you need to vote. If you want to increase economic prosperity in the black community, you need to vote. If you want to protect the right to vote, you need to vote. If you want more funding for our schools, you need to vote. Voting does matter. If Black Lives Matter to you, you need to vote. Early voting begins on October 13th and ends on October 30th. Election day is November 3rd. You need to vote. We all need to vote. If you don't vote, it will matter.
Paid for by the Communications Workers of America, District 6, Claude Cummings Jr., Vice President.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people that have been injured or wronged. Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market. If you've been diagnosed with cancer and you've taken Zantac or a generic equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses covered. And there's no upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
Hey, what's up? This your boy James Fortune, and you are listening to The Lunch Break. Keep it locked.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It's election day. Don't forget to vote. Got till 7 p.m. to get her done. If you have not voted early, get in line. Go do it. Go do it. Go do it. All right. And then we'll watch this thing unfold together. It's also Team Texas Tuesday, and, just really kind of pontificating about the Houston Texans situation and why anybody would be mad at the thought of trading J.J. Watt. Like, why is that such an unimaginable, unconscionable thing to possibly get something back for J.J. Watt? And you don't have to trade him to a contender. That's like crazy. I mean, if a contender comes calling for him, yeah. But you don't have to pick out, oh, well, he loves Green Bay, so let me send him to Green Bay. Or he wants to go to Pittsburgh and play with his brothers. That ain't how this works. This is a business. Did I say business? This is a business. You trade J.J. Watt where you're going to get back what you need for him. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's see. Cody Benjamin. I really love his work. Cody has an article on 2020 NFL trade deadline. Here's a look at one trade that each team should make. All right, let's go. I'm not going to read all of these. Let's say what he says about the Dallas Cowboys. Can we do that? For the Dallas Cowboys, he said the Dallas Cowboys should acquire, wow. What do you think Cody Benjamin says the Cowboys need? You're right, a quarterback. He says that they should trade for Dolphins quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick. And they should give up a 2022 fifth-round draft pick. 2022 fifth-round draft pick to get Ryan Fitzpatrick. Really, honestly, and I know we've talked about this. Me and Willie, kind of went back and forth. He says Willie Gibson says that the Cowboys would have the number 5 pick right now. That's hard to sneeze at. But if they got Ryan Fitzpatrick, they could make the playoffs. And we already talked about they might not want to make the playoffs because how far are they going to go in it? They're not going to win a Super Bowl this year. They're not. It's just not. Hello, you live on the lunch break. Who's this?
There you go, Ferdinand.
Hey, Ferdinand, how you feeling?
Pretty good in yourself.
Man, I'm a little under it.
Hey, you will never win an argument of the trade in J.J. Watt. Some of the fans, they don't understand that. In order for the Texans to having a winning season, you got to move some people. The people that was moved, that was the core of what the Texans was made of. They've moved a lot of great players, and they have actually right now nothing to go on. So, if J.J. Watt is moved, they're going to move him on as part of rebuild and go forward. Because you could keep J.J. Watt, he could tell you $1 million, but you won't win a championship with what the guys that the Texans have. So, the thing about it is, they can't win an argument on that. But, I mean, something has to happen for them to become, being able to win games and win a championship. But if somebody wants to see a championship, just keep J.J. Watt where he is.
Yeah, me and Garrett Jones talked about it when he was on the show the other day. Championship mentality. And a lot of the fans don't understand championship mentality because they got fan mentality. I'm not saying I'm better than them. I don't mean it like that. But I get fan is short for fanatic. So, a lot of the stuff they're going to say is not going to make sense. It's based on their favorites. J.J. Watt is a Houston Texans favorite. Everybody loves him. Everybody loves him. And I'm not saying they shouldn't. What I'm saying is this J.J. Watt, the one that they have right now, has some value that can help this organization in the years to come. You don't know how many more games you're going to get out of this J.J. Watt, let alone how many more years you're going to get out of him. So if you can get someone to take J.J. Watt and you get a player that might be younger, might not have been as accomplished as J.J., but is a player that can really help you build around or future draft picks, you got to consider that.
Absolutely. Right now, JJ right now can still command 3 players just by himself. If you can get 3 mediocre players out of JJ, that's one wonderful. JJ is still going to be good. He'll never beat the JJ at home, but he's a competitor. He's going to do everything he can, stand in the weight room and try to build on his body as much as he can. So he'll stay competitive. But if you're going back to, first 2-3 years, he'll never be that way because the back is a very, very vital part of the body. And it will wear down because of the game that you play. So, I mean, hey, you don't want to take him to win a championship, don't move back. Take it here. Keep selling tickets, let him be the odd 8 and the odd 6. Just win a championship.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Somebody brought up to me, and I said I wasn't going to say this until I kind of did the research on it. But somebody said, look at how JJ plays against the top echelon teams right now. So your Pittsburghs, your Kansas Cities, your Baltimores. Look at how he plays against them, and then look at how he plays against everybody else. If you go back to the playoffs a couple of years ago, he played great against Buffalo. But when he got against Kansas City and they, blew that 24-point lead, J.J. Watt was a liability because the Chiefs schemed against J.J. Watt. They didn't run away from him. They didn't throw away from him. They just let J.J. do what J.J. does. J.J. freelances a lot. So he'll get out of the position that he's supposed to be in and jump in the middle, or he'll shoot a gap that he's not supposed to shoot because he's got a feeling and what have you. And that works against the Buffaloes and the Jacksonvilles and the, teams like that. But that didn't work so good against really good, a real great Baltimore team, 41-7. That didn't work against a real good Kansas City team, 51-31. And it's been the same thing this year. He didn't have a great game against Kansas City. He didn't have a great game against Baltimore. He didn't have a great game against Pittsburgh.
Well, this is the thing, AJ. Everybody knows the scheme of JJ. The great teams know how to play around JJ. So JJ is not going to be effective in those dominant teams. They're going to let him roam, do whatever he needs to do. If they need to put another guy on JJ, they will. They're working around him because, look, at the end of the day, the Texas defense has fallen. And 1-6 shows it. And so he's still a part of that defense. Is he doing anything to help the defense do something great? Absolutely not. You guys only have one win.
Yeah.
So what is JJ doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's that.
Yeah.
But anyway, AJ, we got 8 more games. What do you see them doing if they don't trade?
Winning maybe 2 out of the 6.
And AJ, I hate to say that I told you so. Didn't I tell you 4 games before the season got started?
You did. Ferdinand, stay right there for me. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere.
Michelle Obama.
If you think things cannot possibly get worse, trust me, they can and they will if we don't make a change in this election. It is up to us.
Add your voice. Vote for every Democrat, start to finish. You can vote early from October 13th through the 30th or on Election Day, November 3rd.
We have to vote in numbers that cannot be ignored.
Paid for by the first Tuesday back. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
All right, it's election time, which means political ads are everywhere. But there's a reason for that. This is important. We have a president who is a straight up racist, who uses racist language and attacks to divide Americans against each other. We don't just need a new president, we need leaders who aren't afraid to stand up to Trump. But our senator, Republican John Cornyn, he votes with Donald Trump more than 95% of the time. So what do we do about it? We vote for Democrat MJ Hagar. MJ is a combat veteran and is a working mom who knows healthcare costs are out of control. She'll fight for affordable healthcare, cheaper prescription drug prices, and protect people with pre-existing conditions. And she's endorsed by President Obama. But most importantly, she's got the courage to stand up to Donald Trump. So vote. Vote Democrat. All the way down the back. And vote for Democrat MJ Hagar for U.S. Senate.
I'm MJ Hagar, candidate for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by MJ for Texas.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. 2 radio stations in one.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show right here on the legendary KYOK Radio 1140 AM and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
The lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
All right, y'all, back on it. On Election Day, last day to vote in this election. Got to do it by 7 o'clock p.m. Our time. And, again, get out there and vote. Get out there and vote. All right? All right, let me go back to Ferdinand, caller of the year 2017. El Michelle said, what's up, Ferdinand? And I was let me throw out a couple of names to you. J.J. Watt, Whitney Merciless, and I'm going to throw out a name that most people don't want to hear. Justin Reed. Ferdinand?
Yes, I'm here. Uh-huh. So those are the ones that are talking about trading?
No, not at all. Those are the ones I'm talking about trading.
Well, I mean, we studied the game. We studied the player. Those names are okay. You have to move if you're going to try to win a championship. If you're not concerned about winning a championship, AJ, you keep those names right where they are. And you just sell tickets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the thing about it is, I don't have a problem with the Texans. I don't have a problem with the Cowboys. But like I said, I studied the Cowboys and the Texans the last couple of years, and the direction that the Texans were going in was backwards. The Cowboys didn't add guys to what they had to back, and so we see that now.
Right.
Saying.
You will definitely have been right if they win 4 or 5 games. You said that early on, and I said, Ferdinand, they're not going to be that bad. And you've been saying it all year long before they even kicked off. So
shout out to the lunch break and everybody. I just, like I say, AJ, I studied the game. I studied what Bill O'Brien was doing, and sitting down Romeo, picking him up, sitting him down, picking him up. All of that affects a great team. And right now, the Texans suck. Who want to come here and coach this team? AJ, seriously, with the guys that they have in place right now, what good coach, you know, we want to come here and turn this thing around. Because if you don't give a coach a long term, you give him 2 or 3 years, it's not going to happen. I would have to have a 5-year deal or longer to try to fix up what they done messed up and try to turn this thing around.
Yeah, 5-year deal guaranteed or with a huge buyout.
Yes, sir. That's it.
All right, brother. Be safe. Hey, I'm getting ready to announce the winner of this week's Pick'em Challenge.
All right. Have a good one. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Ferdinand, caller of the year 2017. Always a good call. He was right, though. He said this team was going to struggle. I didn't think they were going to be as bad as he did, and he might be right. He might be, like, dead on it. Back to Cody Benjamin's every trade a team should make. Houston Texans said that they should get a 2021 fourth-round draft pick from Washington for linebacker Zach Cunningham. That's their number one tackler. That's their number one tackler. A fourth round? You mean that's all we can get for Zach Cunningham is a fourth-round pick? That's all the Texans can get for Zach Cunningham. If you don't know that that's how bad Bill O'Brien left this team, that's how bad. One of their best players can only garner a fourth-round pick. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let me see who else is on here. Let's go down to New England. He says that New England should get a 2021 first-round pick and a 2022 fourth-round pick for cornerback Stephon Gilmore. He says the Saints should trade their 2021 fourth-round pick and get Washington defensive end Ryan Kerrigan. Let me go down to Tampa since I know Keith is interested in them. Okay. He says that Tampa should get a 2021 conditional 7th-round pick from the Bears for running back LaShawn McCoy. Yeah, you got to. If you can get anything from him, get it. I mean, with Jones and with my boy from LSU. Come on, help me out, man. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank today. It's all this cold medicine. But anyway, you got no room for LaShawn McCoy. If you can get anything for him, do it. If you can get anything from him, do it. Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, and Leonard Fournette. Those are your running backs. Get whatever you can for LaShawn McCoy. But I mean, just going back to the Texans, man, that's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking. That's why it's got to be somebody like a J.J. Watt. You want to get before the 3rd round. J.J. can do that. Justin Reed can do that. If Will Fuller or Kenny Stills or Randall Cobb or Brandon Cooks can do that for you, where is Kiki Kuti? Is he still a Texan? Is Kiki Kuti still a Texan? Where he at? Is he IR? What's the deal? How come they're not trying to package him up and ship him off to a contender? Dude can ball. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Benjamin says that the Bengals should get wide receiver A.J. Green and give up a 4th-round pick in 2021 and a 7th-round pick in 2022. Hey, let me tell you something. A.J. Brown and A.J. Green and Corey Davis. That could do something right there. That could do something. So anyway, I'll leave this alone. I know I got a bunch of Texan haters, and yeah, I got a bunch of them. Yeah, I got a bunch of them. So anyway, I'll leave it alone. Let me quick sports update. Bottom of the hour, quick sports update. Tom Brady led the Bucs from a 14-6 deficit at halftime to a 25-23 win over the Giants. Last night on Monday Night Football, Tom did it again. Tom Brady did it again. And it was a controversial call on the 2-point conversion that would have sent the game into overtime. Should have been pass interference, was not pass interference. They called it a good call. So there you go. Texans will visit Jacksonville Sunday at noon. Jags are going to go with a rookie quarterback instead of Gardner Minshew, who they now say is hurt in multiple places. Texans looking for only their second win of the season, and guess what? The team they beat, Jacksonville. So let's see if Romeo Crennel can go 2-0 versus Jacksonville. Cowboys got undefeated Pittsburgh Sunday at 3:25. Yesterday, I incorrectly said that the Cowboys would be on the bye week. I just looked at the wrong line. My mistake. But the Cowboys, they wish they were on the bye week because guess what? They got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've got the Pittsburgh Steelers coming to town, undefeated, coming off of a big win over Baltimore in the division and in the conference. So I don't know, man. That one could be ugly. That one could be ugly. Let me see what it looks like on this one. Hang on. Cowboys, Steelers. Steelers are almost a 14-point favorite. I would hate to think the Cowboys defense played a lot better this past Sunday than they did in weeks previous, but they were playing the Eagles. So, yeah, it might be a 14-point game or more. Might be. Astros Christian Javier is up for Rookie of the Year in MLB from the American League. But here's the surprise. Here's the surprise for me. Y'all ready for this? And I'm not making it about race. It's just, the crazy thing of these awards. Kevin Cash, manager for the Tampa Rays, who lost in the World Series to the LA Dodgers, is a candidate for Manager of the Year. Dodger manager Dave Roberts, who won the World Series, is not a candidate for Manager of the Year. Why do we have these awards again? I'm sure Dave Roberts could care less. I'm sure he couldn't care less about that award, given that he's got the World Series championship award, at his house or somewhere where he can put his hands on it. But why do we have these awards again? When they're that obviously dumb, they're just dumb. It's almost like the writers want to have something important to do. You ought to have the ability to adjust things. I know that most of these are regular season awards, but how many times do we see a guy or a coach or a team come on in the playoffs like never before, and they don't even have a chance to be recognized for it because, it's a regular season award? Like Miami and Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler and those guys should get some recognition for how they balled out all the way to the NBA Finals. But no. Hello, you're live on a lunch break. Who's this?
AJ, it's Todd.
What's up, man?
Man, I like what, you may think I'm crazy to say this, but I know the Giants are 1-7, right?
Yep.
But let me throw out something to you if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Last 4 games of the Giants. They lost to the Cowboys 37-34. Lost to the Redskins 20-19. Lost to the Eagles 22-21. Lost to Tampa Bay 25-23. Early in the season, they lost to the Bears 17-13. That's 5 winnable games on a team that is, talent-wise, is garbage. I like what that coach is doing. He's got those guys playing hard, and they're competitive with not much help.
Oh, Todd.
So, like I said on this, you can't just look at the record, right? For a first-year coach, first-year head coach, I don't even think he coached Pop Warner. First-year head coach, and you look at those numbers, and with what he has to work with, no number 1 running back, right? No true number one receiver.
Yeah.
The line is trash.
Yeah.
He's got some guys playing hard, and that's a big part of coaching, which makes me think if they got a GM worth a darn up there that can help put assemble some weapons, I think they might have something there.
Yeah.
Come on, AJ.
Yeah. Did you get out and vote?
Yeah, man, I did that weeks ago.
Amber, get out and vote?
Yeah.
Kids can't vote yet, huh?
Nope.
Okay. How'd your daughter's swim season go?
Oh, she's still doing. She's year round.
Oh, does she? Oh,
Yeah,
I should have asked you that before now. You know what? Because I put a package on the back burner because I thought it was done and I wanted it to be relevant to to the season. So thank you for that.
So she swims over at Lifetime Fitness, right? And at Lifetime Fitness, they got a year round swim program over at their clubs. They got pools.
Blue and black, right? For the colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Say no more. I'm glad you told me that. That's important news. It's much better news than that other stuff you were talking about.
So what do you think, though? Am I completely off base? I mean, if you look at what they got, right?
Yep.
You put Bill O'Brien up there coaching them, they get waxed. I mean, when I really look at the numbers, right?
No. If you put Bill O'Brien over there coaching, they'll win the AFC South.
So, man, I like it, man. I mean, I've kind of watched it, and like, to me, a big part of coaching is the fact that he's got them playing competitive.
Oh, Todd. Does your son swim too?
Yeah, they're both on the team.
Okay. Yeah, that helps me too. Now I know what all to do. All right. So thanks for calling, Todd. Yeah, great job yesterday, man. You did a great job. You saved the day yesterday.
When I called in?
Yeah, man. I was not okay, bro. I was struggling, and you really helped.
Allergies, man, knock you out. It's like sometimes you have a migraine, you just knock yourself.
Man, oh man. I'm trying to avoid having this Can I knock your theory out of the water? It'd be different if he was doing that in the NFC West, or if he was doing that in the NFC South,
right?
Or if he was doing that in the AFC North. But he's doing it in the worst division in the world. And I know Tampa Bay is not part of the worst division, but even a blind squirrel will find a nut every now and then. I get it. It's what we say about a lot of first-year quarterbacks that come out. I need a bigger sample size. You don't get credit for close losses.
Right.
And I will give him credit for this. Last night, he should have at least had one more play. And there's no guarantee that they still would have gotten the 2-point conversion. And then what would have happened in overtime? I can look at they were up 14-6 and got beat 25-13. I mean, 25-23. What they get outscored 19-9. I mean, I see it. I mean, I hear what you're saying. Daniel Jones is the epitome of him. He looks great in spots, but then when he, stumbles all over a blade of grass on his way to the end zone, or he throws one of those just absolutely boneheaded interceptions, you can say, well, he had some bright spots, but at the end of the day, he still killed the drive, or he still didn't get it in, or he still didn't do enough for them to get the win. So, I mean, I get it. I'm willing to look at the glass half full on it, but, it's one of those things. He's got to turn the corner next year. He's in the worst division in the league. With all that you said, they should at least be leading the division, that division, or in contention for it.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's say, man, see, it's hard for me to go there leading with Barkley's hurt. And I'm not trying to use injury as an excuse, but not having Saquon hurt. I mean, Saquon is their Zeke, right? So here's what impresses me. If I were to punch a few holes in your argument, Tampa Bay is not in the NFC East, right?
Right.
Tampa Bay 6-2, good team. And
that's what I said. I know Tampa's not in their division, and I know that they played Tampa to, I guess, a proverbial stalemate. They lost.
Yeah.
And you don't get like a half a point because you only lost by 2. It's not soccer. I I
think in the back half, AJ, I think in the back half of the season for them, they're going to turn some of these close losses into wins. Let me tell you why. They got Washington coming up. They got Philly coming up. At the Bengals, probably a loss. At Seattle, maybe a loss. But they got some teams down here. I think they can get some wins. And I think if they can get some help around Daniel Jones, if they can play with that same effort, that's what impresses me. He's got those guys playing hard. And in years past, was it Pat Shurmur and then the dude before him? They were getting blasted. So I like what I see in year one. I think there's some building blocks of what he's putting in culture-wise. So I think they can build off of. Like I said, if the GM, whoever the GM is up there, can put the right pieces around, to give them a chance.
Okay. I mean, again, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
I still don't like taking running backs that high. I remember when they took Barkley, I would have taken something else. Not that I don't like Saquon Barkley. I'm not a big fan of taking running backs top 10 in the draft.
And again, I know folks that feel that way. There's a couple of local broadcasters that feel that way. And for me, Saquon Barkley was one of those transformational guys. So I can see them doing that. I can see them doing that. You got a minute? I got to take a quick break. Okay, let me take a quick break. We'll come back with Todd right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
This is Barack Obama, and I want to talk with you about the choice you have for your next U.S. Senator. I hope you'll vote for MJ Hager. MJ served 3 tours in Afghanistan as a combat search and rescue pilot, receiving a Purple Heart and Distinguished Flying Cross with Valor. She's also a working mom who knows the struggles families face to afford health care, which is why she'll fight to protect the Affordable Care Act. Progress we all worked so hard to achieve, and Republicans keep trying to repeal. And MJ is firmly committed to making the reforms we need to address systemic racism and create a more fair and equitable America. And that's why, whether you vote early or on November 3rd, I hope you'll join me in supporting Democrat MJ Hager. We need her in the United States Senate, but she needs your vote to get there.
I'm MJ Hagar, and I approve this message.
Use of military record does not imply endorsement from Department of Defense. Paid for by MJ for Texas.
My name is Gary Bledsoe, president of the Texas NAACP. The upcoming election is one of the most important elections in the history of this nation. Elections have consequences, and after the death of the legendary Ruth Bader Ginsburg, things that have been done by the courts to grant rights to racial, ethnic, religious, and other minorities are seriously at risk. The chances for the survival of Obamacare and affirmative action seem to be remote at best. Do you want an administration and court system that takes the side of bad cops and that works feverishly to make sure your right to vote is compromised? This election is about whether you have your right at first-class citizenship and humanity. The voter suppression efforts now existing in Texas are a clear reminder of years past. They are reducing polling places, drop boxes for absentee ballots, permitting abusive poll watchers to abuse voters, and a host of other activities. Vote in honor of your ancestors, and please report any irregularities to the NAACP.
Paid for by the Communications Workers of America, District 6, Claude Cummings Jr., Vice President.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
Beautiful people, this is Major. This is why I love you on the lunch break.
All righty, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Election Day edition of Team Texas Tuesday. And you got until 7 o'clock p.m. this evening to get out and vote. Again, if you get in line by 6:59, you can still vote. And do not let them turn you away. If they got a problem with your ID or your name or your address, ask for a provisional ballot. Don't let them steal your right to vote. All right? All right. And let me go back to the phone line. Todd standing there. Got a shout out to Reverend Barnett. Reverend Barnett just called in, gave us a big shout out. Longtime listener, very faithful listener. And we thank God for him. Reminded me of the late, great Skipper Lee Frazier, man. We miss him so much. Miss him so much. All right, Todd, what's happening, man? So talking about this vaunted, great New York Giants football team and that Joe Judge has them headed in the right direction.
I think so. I see some things, coaching wise, for the first time. Like I said, I can't remember the cat's name before Pat Shermer they fired. The other dude had a little the mustache, right? What was
that
his
dude
name?
was that dude was real strange.
But those guys playing hard, and that's part of it. Can you find a coach that the guys will respond to? To me, they give more effort than the Cowboys do. They don't lay down and quit. When I watch the Cowboys, I see a lot of quit and a lot of dysfunction in this organization. The Cowboys got way more talent than what the Giants do.
All right, let's look at something real quick. Giants haven't won the NFC East since 2011.
Wow.
Before that, 2008. Before that, 2005.
Yep.
The Giants' last playoff appearance was 2016. Before that, 2011.
Yep. It's been a while.
Yeah. Let's see. Coaches. Head coaches. Let's see. Joe Judge. Oh, it doesn't give me a list of them, though. I thought it was going to give me a list of head coaches. It doesn't. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Hang on. Here we go. I got it now. Here we go. List of Giants head coaches. Tom Coughlin. Of course, it doesn't put them in order. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. I can't get it. It's probably really not worth knowing, but yeah, I don't have it in order.
Yeah, I mean, those are kind of things I see. You know, like I said, if they could build a little bit more, I think maybe onto something. I think there's some games in the second half, back half of the season they could win. I think some of those close losses they had to some of those NFC East teams. I know it's not saying a lot, but I think if they can start to build up that roster, I think there may be some pieces there. Daniel Jones, to me, he's like an Eli Manning to me, and what I mean by that, he needs a lot of help around him.
Yeah.
You know, he needs a lot of help around him. But I think there's some athletically he can do. You know, if he can stay on the speed, he would have had an 80-yard
Yeah. And somebody had to nerve. Ben McAdoo, Willie Gibson.
McAdoo.
Yeah, Ben McAdoo.
I mean, when you go through all them coaches and you don't draft well, which they've been terrible at drafting, it doesn't surprise me they haven't won the East since 2011. I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all.
You know, I'm just saying, and you got to look at that front office, man. That general manager is horrible, bro. That general manager is horrible. But again, we'll see, Todd. When I look at organizations that have really turned it around, I don't think New York Giants. And I guess, you can say there are bright spots, but there were a couple of bright spots for Doug Marrone. Raheem Morris had bright spots when he was a head coach. Lovie Smith had bright spots when he was at Tampa. I don't see anything there to write home about. I really don't. I mean, them playing tough this year this is one of those aberration years. Like, are these teams really that good, or is it, COVID 2020? I don't know. Like I say, I need a bigger sample size, and I'm not saying that you're wrong or I disagree. I'm not all the way on board. Like, go ahead, go. I'll meet you there.
Well, so we got another half of the season to play, right?
Right.
So we can circle back at the end of the year and see what progress they've made, right?
Okay. I'll live with that.
So if they come back and beat some of these teams they lost to the first time, you know what I mean?
Yep.
The Eagles stuff, they say, okay, now they're showing a little bit of progress. I went back and looked at the draft when Daniel Jones got drafted, and they took let's see, Daniel Jones, he went number 6. I was trying to see if there was any quarterback behind that. It went later that I would have taken. I don't really see one that sticks out to me. So, I mean, they needed a quarterback. They went and got him. That's what I want to pick your brain about is that because, like I said, when I just look at their talent, I just don't see a whole lot there.
Yeah. Let me throw this out. Pat Shurmur was 4-12 last year. Year before that, 5-11. Ben McAdoo and Spagnuolo was 3-13. Ben McAdoo in 2016 was 11-5. Tom Coughlin 6-10, 6-10, 7-9, 9-7, 9-7 when they won the Super Bowl. 10-6 before that. I'm at 2009, 8-8, 12-4, 2008, 10-6, 2007, 8-8, 2006, 2005, 11-5. He's got work to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, if he can get on this back half of the season, they're 1-7, so they're through 8 games. So in this back half of the season, yeah, he's got to do some work.
And watch this, Todd. And even then, I'm gonna be questionable. Let me tell you why. Atlanta got hot at the end of last year, and everybody thought that they were going to be fine at the start of this year, and they're not fine.
Yeah, no, they're not. I mean, I want to ask you real quick for you have to end your show. What do you think of the Rockets hiring?
I'm interested. I'm interested. Like I said, it was going to be very interesting to me if they brought in another old head. Like if they had gone Van Gundy, I would have been all bought out. But I'm interested to see what this young man's going to bring to the table.
So what do you think that made them go that direction? Because they had been talking about John Lucas, Van Gundy, all these names. What do you think that made them settle on him?
I really think that the new general manager and Tillman Fertitta got together and said, let's just change the direction totally instead of just same old. And I believe the two stars had something to do say about it as well. I think Westbrook and Harden had something to say about it as well.
What is John Lucas' role in the team? Is he an assistant coach?
He's an assistant coach, and he's also the guy that keeps the players on the straight and narrow. But he's an assistant coach.
I was listening to this podcast. I don't know if you ever listen. I don't know if you ever seen the podcast called All the Smoke with Matt Barnes.
Yeah.
And Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
Anyway, I listened to it.
Wait, Todd, hang on. I got one commercial. Let me do the CWA commercial. We'll be right back with Todd right after this on the lunch break.
The big telecom companies have let Texans down. The COVID-19 crisis has shown how much we need reliable, high-speed internet connections. But for years, companies like AT&T, Frontier, and Verizon have been putting wealthy communities at the front of the line when they decide where to build next-generation networks. Joe Biden's plan for rebuilding our economy includes investing in high-speed internet, not just for wealthy suburbs and high-income neighborhoods, but in rural and lower-income areas too. Instead of giving giant tax cuts that go into the pockets of telecom executives, Joe will make those companies pay their fair share and provide the service your family needs to access health care, school, and employment opportunities. Let's close the digital divide and give all Texans equal access to affordable internet service. Vote on November 3rd. Vote for Joe Biden.
Paid for by CWA Working Voices.
My name is Devon McDonald from Jamaica, play with Indianapolis Colts, and you listen to the lunch break.
All right, y'all, got to get ready to go here in a minute, but let me get back to Todd, finish this thing off on our Election Day issue of the lunch break. What's up, T?
All right, so on All the Smoke, Matt Barnes had David Fisdale on there and JB Bickerstaff, right? And they were talking about the life as a coach in the NBA and assistant coach, right? And they said black coaches in the NBA, they're talking about assistant coaches, a lot of them are seen as just player development guys and basically handlers for the black players on the team. And I was just curious if you had ever heard it worded that way before. And then JB Bickerstaff said whenever they would get interviews, it wasn't even like a real interview. Then when they would come back, the GM would come back and say, well, the owner wanted to go in a different direction. But I wanted to see if you'd ever heard of the assistants basically just being handlers, or like J.B. Bickerstaff used an example of like they would call him early in the morning and say, hey, so-and-so's out in the club, we need you to go get him. Have you ever heard of that before?
I have. In fact, obviously know a couple of assistant coaches, then their roles, and some organizations, some more than others.
So help me understand, how does Stan Van Gundy, how does he get a fourth head coaching job?
Bruh. And especially with that team. I mean,
that
seriously.
Makes no sense to me.
Man, I'm telling you, Griffin, former Bulls GM, Cleveland GM, bruh. It might work out. It might be a great hire. I don't think so, and I would not have made it. I'm serious. The last guy I would turn the possible future face of not just the organization, but the whole doggone league over to Stan Van Gundy. There is enough recent history not to do that. So yeah, man, I got no answers on that.
I don't get it, man. I think on the podcast I heard, there's 6 black head coaches.
Yeah.
Right, something like that.
Yep.
So I don't know. There's still work to do. I don't understand. I don't understand how Tom Thibodeau keeps getting jobs. I don't understand how Stan Van Gundy keeps getting jobs.
Yeah, and again, I was prepared for Jeff Van Gundy to get a job the same year his brother got one, and I'm just glad it didn't happen. I'm just serious. I'm glad it didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, AJ, hey, man, I'll let you run. Always a good time.
All right, brother. Appreciate you as always. Again, thanks for yesterday.
All right. Thanks, AJ. All
right, man. Good conversation with Todd. Let me get ready to wrap it up. Again, get out and vote. Get out and vote before 7 o'clock tonight. Get out and vote. Your vote matters. Your vote counts. Don't let anybody take your vote away from you. And again, don't let anybody talk you out of your vote either. If other people don't feel like the voting process is what it should be, and, the Electoral College elects the president and all that. Still, there are so many other things on the ballot besides just president. And by the way, your vote counts. Your vote counts. If enough people vote the same way, the Electoral College is going to do what the will of the people want done. So, I can't emphasize it enough. And men, let's get in the process and stop finding excuses not to be in the process. I cannot tell you how many men I've talked to this election season who are like, nah, I'm not voting. Nah, I'm just not going to vote. And they have, in their mind, I guess, good reasons. But, man, we got to be a part of the process. Women have been saving elections and stuff like that for far too long. We got to be a part of the process. Got to do it. Got to do it. So, as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it except wear your mask, wash your hands 30 seconds or more, sanitize everything around you, be sensitive to everybody around you, give them their 6 feet. And when you see that racism, kill it. Not the person, the racism. All right? And be safe out there tonight. Be safe out there tonight. If you still got to do it, go vote before 7 o'clock. All right? Y'all be blessed. We'll be back for Winning Wednesday tomorrow. I'll announce the winner of this week's Lunch Break Weekly Pick'em Challenge. Also, want to tell you about something else we'll be giving away. I'll tell you about that tomorrow, right here on the Lunch Break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know today. Today, November 3rd, 2020, is Election Day. 2020 general election voting ends today. This is it. No more second chances, no more waiting for that sunny day. And as you head to the polls, if something seems not quite right while voting, please speak up. The easiest thing to do is call 866-OUR-VOTE, OURVOTE. That's 866-687-8683. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
All right, y'all. Y'all know the deal. I don't need to emphasize it enough. Vote, vote, vote like we've never voted before. John Lewis said that. He said it for a reason. So get out and vote. Many people have fought for your right to vote. Vote. Don't let anybody take you away from it. Take it away from you or talk you out of it. Okay? Vote, vote. All right, wore a new bracelet today, courtesy of Ma Jewels. Tell me what y'all think. A little different. I feel kind of skateboardish, bikerish. Kind of got a little blingage to it. So what do y'all think? What do y'all think about my new bracelet? I've been blessed to get them. I want to wear them. So I want to hear about that. And then again, we'll be watching it tomorrow. I'll be back in the morning, and somebody's going to be happy. Somebody's not. Big group's going to be sad. Big group's going to be happy. So we'll talk about it all tomorrow, but be safe, please. Whatever you do, be safe. All right. Love y'all. Vote, vote, vote. Did I say vote?